Alright, hello and welcome again to my channel. My name is Toy. Today we are doing another deck build. And I know a lot of people like to listen to these while they're at work, so I'm going to try to explain cards and effects a little bit better while I do this one this time, just so people who are just listening to this while doing other stuff can follow along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a Khadath deck off of the death symbol. Again, I'm doing these videos with Rockford UFS. So I picked the character this time. He picked kind of the theme that we're going for. So Khadath is the character we're going with. And kind of the angle that we want to go with this one is both of us really liked, Hyperbomb from Hell combo. Not really a combo, but kind of like Foundation Destruction, because what Khadath reads is enhance once per turn the stack is +3 damage. No more enhances may be played this enhanced step. Or R, once per turn destroy one foundation. After your opponent plays a foundation, discard it. So he destroys his own foundations, and you can basically selectively take out your opponent's foundations. And that ability kind of functions as a soft discard effect. I say soft because you're still burning cards out of their what they're available to play. So we just need to remember those two things. So one, he can shut off enhanced steps, and two, he can after your opponent plays a foundation, we can kind of pick what they can and cannot play as long as Khadath is ready, right? I believe that's what it does. I should really open up a second tab here. Open like a new tab so we can keep the Khadath video deck going as well. Alright, so we got that going. So now that I know what attacks I'm going to be putting in, I already know part of my limit here is going to be putting in From Hell. So I'm going to start with 3 copies of From Hell. And I'm going to start with 3 copies of Hyperbomb. And before I go too far into the rest of my attack lineup, I'm going to jump over to my deck list. Right? They're both high blocks and 2+ high blocks. So already out of the gate, looking at the stats of these, because I now have 6 high blocks in my attack lineup, in order to balance out my blocks in my attack lineup, if I'm going to try to do that, I'm going to be looking predominantly at mid and low blocks on my initial scan of attacks and see if I can populate my attack lineup based on that. Both From Hell and Hyperbomb have effects on if they are not blocked. So this deck already encourages our opponent to block everything we throw, otherwise we're going to be getting effects off that. And remember what I said about Khadath's second ability is a respond once per turn, destroy one foundation. After your opponent plays foundation, discard it. That ability, it's still just pulling a card out of their hand, right, in order for them to play through that, or they can't build properly and you can build past them. And if they're discarding a foundation, that foundation might be a block, or it means that they can't hold as many cards in hand afterwards in order to play through this and still build regularly. Whatever that looks like, you're still limiting their resources. So playing an attack lineup that demands to be blocked might be a good angle to go with on this thing. So let's rip up here. So I've got attack, death selected. In my search, card text search, I'm going to type in the word blocked. So what this does is that it's going to give me anything that in its text box has an effect that pertains to blocking. So this just gives me a really quick rundown. So Takedown is the first card that pops out to me instantly. If this attack is not blocked, I can discard cards from the top of my deck until I get an attack and put that discarded attack into my hand. It's also Desperation. It's a low, and it's a low block, and it's got a really good block. So this does everything I want, and it's a really strong bread and butter piece to accompany the From Hell and the Hyperbomb. And I might even have a bit of a low zone overload with a switch up into high for From Hells, which would be a really cool mix up if I'm lucky enough to get that. We'll see how that goes. What does Flameport read? If this attack is blocked, add it to your momentum. So I don't want to have a random card in there that my opponent gains benefit from blocking. I kind of want to punish them for I want to punish them if they're not blocking. I want to force them to block everything so that it makes it very difficult for them to decide which one is actually the most important thing to block. At least that's my goal here. So if I play a Hyperbomb and they have to block it, or I draw a card, that's probably going to be the one they're not going to want to block, because me just drawing a random card rather than From Hell doing 5 extra damage, or Takedown just drawing another attack. In order of priority out of those 3, Hyperbomb's the first one I would not block, Takedown being the second one, From Hell being the least of them all. Conveniently, they're usually going to be played in that order exactly. You play the Hyper Bomb first, then the Takedown, then the From Hell. So they're in the order I want them to be in terms of not wanting to block. So the Hyper Bomb makes it really difficult for them to decide if they want to block it or not, because they're like, well, actually, this is the one out of all three of the attack lineup my opponent's running that I don't want to block. So you have a pretty high chance of them just letting the Hyper Bomb through. So you can do some very nice hard decision cross-up style attacks with Hyper Bomb. So that's really good. I like that. Let's see if I can find a mid block low attack if I'm that lucky. I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. I don't see anything. Womp womp. Okay. We're not going to get that lucky. Maybe I'll check that as an alternate condition. Do I want to run skull barriers? Here's a really important thing to think about with Khadath is so he cuts off enhances, and he can additionally he can rip select foundations out. So is skull barrier going to be super beneficial for me? I don't have a high functional use for the momentum that a card like this can generate by playing it as a block, and typically your opponent will take the damage afterwards in order to not clog their pool of blocks. So this card works as kind of a weird off-turn momentum gain. It's also a very good mid block. Let's start with 1 on skull barrier and see how that feels. I don't love free fall of Khadath support if it's not blocked. It does not clear from your opponent's card pool, so you can keep it, and your opponent, it basically lets you trigger Khadath's effect again, has our card pool remove after your opponent plays Foundation, discard it. I might want to play this. It does have the theme that I want, and it's low. Maybe let's run start at 1. It might end up getting pushed at 2. It's a low as well. That might be the right number for that though. Blaze Whip might also be a one of, because again, I don't want to overload on high blocks. But this one says if it is blocked, your opponent adds a Foundation. But this might be my ender, like a nice closing attack that I can throw at the end. Because again, Khadath can just put 3 damage on something, so that might not be the worst thing to do, is to throw out my attacks as regular and then Blaze Whip plus 3 damage on it at the end for a pretty easy 6 damage low if my other lows are connecting. So let's put it at 1. I like that. I'm kind of really liking the low zone thing. If Devil Reverse is not completely blocked, I can add the top card of my deck to my momentum, but it's a no block again. This one requires momentum, so I might not love that. Sorry, I said this one. Nightmare Booster. I'm looking at Devil Reverse. I'm looking at Urban Shower. If this attack is not blocked, your opponent will lose 2 and you'll gain 2. This, again, I'm getting a lot of high blocks, and I don't know if I like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out my blocks key search for card text. We're going to go to block zone, mids and lows, and we're going to search again. And if I go to my attack lineup, and I refresh my decks, and I look at difficulty of my curve, currently I have a 1, 2, 1, 3, 4 4s, 4 5s, and 3 6s. I've got a fairly decent spread with 13 attacks, but I don't think I want to push too hard on the 5s and the 6s. As a 6 hand size character, I won't be able to build aggressively to compensate for a high difficulty curve, and I'm going to be destroying my own foundations in order to trigger one of my effects, so that also does not help me. What do we got here? Fan Throw, Fatnado. I don't know if here's the silent part of the video where you just listen to me hum and haw as I look at cards. Falling Heel Strike on Flip 1 Foundation. So the other thing I'm going to be curious about is if I can find something that can help me net foundations. Ooh, Kickback Crescendo. However, Deadlock, you destroy 2 of your opponent's foundations. Ugh. Commit 1 foundation this stack, it's plus 3 speed. I don't want to add more 5s, but this card's making me want to add more 5s. I want to have a threat in Deadlock, and this card does everything that I already want to do with my deck, and it's going to add threat to Deadlock, so I might put 2 of these in. And that might end my high difficulty chain stuff. So now I'm going to go back up to my search, and we're going to go with a difficulty of 4. And we're going to limit our search. Let's see if I have anything else that gives me some good destruction effects in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's not directly destruction, like Guts Cannon, I'm not going to run. Nope. Pinbot Strike doesn't apply. Rolling Attack is really, really good. Ooh, actually, Rolling Attack might be perfect for what I'm trying to do. How's my block spread right now? 1 mid, 2, 3 mids. 7 high, 3 mid, 4 low. The reason why I'm looking at Rolling Attack, so what Rolling Attack says, it's a 4 diff, 3 low 4, plus 0 low block, stun 1. Your opponent reveals top 3 cards of their deck, and I can discard any cards revealed this way and return the rest of the top of the deck in any order. What this lets me do is if I'm doing a poke, I can throw a Rolling Attack, look at the top 3 cards, ditch their attacks, make them draw foundations that I can then control what comes down because I'm Khadath, right? This may be valuable. Let's start with 2 of this. That puts me at 7 high, 6 low, 3 mid, 17 attacks. Okay, now I need more mid blocks to balance out my blocks. So let's come back up here. Let's unselect my block zone low. Let's just search mid blocks on death as attacks. Good stuff here. Fan-nado. I don't think I even have enough weapons to even bother looking at that. I've got... What do I have that actually matters? Homing missiles. My, what do we have here? So first enhance, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. Your opponent may lose 3 vitality to cancel this effect. This, again, might be perfect for what I'm looking for. Let's start with 1. It might easily get bumped up if I don't find anything. Yeah, that might be the winner right there. Let's throw on 3 of those. They're not the best blocks, but that puts me at 20 attacks. I find nowadays you almost want around like above a 30% attack concentration. So if you go to your graphs in UFS Ultra, you can come down. Currently all I have is attacks, but under card type you can highlight whatever color you want, and I'll tell you the percentage or the density of that card type within your deck. So that's really important. So if I go over to difficulty, I don't know what that doesn't do percentage. Maybe only card type does percentage. Weird. Everything else just gives me ratios. Cool. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, let's go to actions and assets. Let's search that really quick because I'm dumb and I have other things selected. Reset, standard, death, actions and assets. Let's go. As a 6 hand size, I can't really run that many. Let's look at my attack lineup quickly. Do I have anything that can use momentum? Boop, Skull Barrier can, and From Hell can with EX3. Trying to think of how my attack lineups are going to go. I do have a heavy low zone. Let's look at block modifier attack zones. I have 11 lows, 3 highs, and 6 mids. So 6, 9, mid and high, 11 low, primarily low zone, which is good. That low zone rush is always a good thing. People just don't see it coming. I don't know why. But I do have some stuff that uses momentum. If I can get more momentum generation in the deck, then I can justify running more Skull Barriers. But at the current rate, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to throw in one-ofs of things that I think I might want. So Swordfish 2, because it's momentum generation and it can bounce out an attack on my opponent's side, but it also gives them momentum. Bang is obviously a good card, so we're going to run that one. To seal our opponent or to close out attacks, because again this one says if they don't block my attack they're going to lose 3, draw 1, or if they lose 3, I draw 1. Self-destruct. Destroy all the foundations and assets in both staging area. At the top card of your deck to staging area, face down, your combat phase ends. Oof. This is risky. This actually might be my one-of, and I'll explain it. So the reason why self-destruct might be my one-of, because the best angle for a self-destruct play is usually to play it, and then when you think your opponent is sculpting a kill turn and they have a handful of attacks, that's the best moment to play self-destruct, because it makes their sculpted hand almost useless, because now they're trying to find foundations to recuperate all their lost resources. So that's pushed one step further as Khadath, because then with the face down card that we got, we can blow up another one of the cards that they try to play, trying to recover. So it lets you turn a game around and kind of reset the game state depending on how things are going. I don't know if Khadath can really take advantage of that game state, of the early game state, as well as other characters can, so I don't know if that's actually the right choice or not. I really don't know. I'm going to put it one of in the deck for now because it might be very valuable, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm not convinced. This is mostly a deck building exercise, and I'm not going to meta off too hard on this, but a strong choice for the meta right now, if you don't know, is Magickin. R commit after you're dealt damage by an unblocked attack. Your opponent must play a foundation or pass as their next form is turn. Yo, actually, even as Khadath, this might be baller. That might be the bee's knees. Just because it's going to force them to play a foundation that I can then pop regardless. Even it's making sure I can use that R response once per turn to destroy a foundation, pop one of their foundations, even on their turn if they're attacking me. If they're just trying to push through attacks, it lets me do that. This might be my one of winner. There's so many good one-offs. Oh my goodness, pull my trigger is really good for +3 damage on push turns, and I have reversals, so pull my trigger is really good. Prepare to fight is really good. As throw hate, multiple hate, all that fun stuff. Deliverance is really good. Oh man, Death has way too many good toys. That's why they're so hard to build. Error Light Key from Khadath. You can R commit after your opponent plays an attack. You can play the first enhancer in the enhanced step. And it's non. Do I want to run an Error Light Key kit? You know what? I'm almost going to say yes. So let's reset this. I've got one Magickin. Pull my trigger Swordfish. Bang, self-destruct. Prepare to fight. What we're going to do, for the sake of this, I'm not going to overload on meta choices. I'm not going to. I know, you're crazy, so we're going to get rid of Swordfish. We're going to keep Magickin because that's so spicy. We're going to get rid of Bang. Get out of here. Get rid of self-destruct. We're not doing that either. Prepare to fight. We're going to keep it 1. Magickin. We're going to keep it 1. Right key. We're gonna do the four keys. We're going to do that. We are going to take prepare to fight, and we're going to pretend like we have a sideboard and throw 3 of those inside. We're going to go to Bang and put 3 of those inside. Boop. Okay, leaving 2 side slots open for perhaps. Trying to think what the other really good trigger would be for this. There you go. Some scat for you. I think that might be all I want. Airlight Key is also going to act as momentum for Skull Barriers, so I can push Skull Barrier up to 2 if I need to now. Because Airlight Key, if your character is Khadath with its cards in your staging area, when you're paying costs, you can either destroy this asset instead of destroying 1 foundation or discarding 1 momentum. And then that's going to let us be a little bit more aggressive with what we want to do for costs on our foundations as well. So let's do foundations next. Currently I am at 5, 6, 20 stats. Let's look 27 cards. So we'll see how many foundations I need to put in here to keep my attack concentration about where I want. So I'm just going to start ripping through cards, and if for the people that are just listening to this, I apologize because I can't read every single card and expect this to be a coherent video in any shape. Don't need Fusion of Souls, the Deadlock flip, commit your opponent's character. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm running Deadlock. I destroy 2 foundations instead. It's really good in other builds, but I'm not doing that. Serving the Outworld, after your opponent plays a form ability on a non-character, cancel its effects. Yeah, we're going to run at least 1 of that. Probably. And it's got E6 plus a stack is +2 or -1 damage. Yeah, let's actually run 2 of that. And it's a 2/6. Super nice card. Telekinetic Mastery, after you discard any number of cards due to your opponent's effect, commit a foundation, draw a card. It's a flip effect for that. This is the other card that I really liked as a sideboard card. So maybe I'll set 2 of those inside. We are many, you are but 1. I don't think I need that. Edenian Royalty. So this has a destroy effect. Your opponent's next attack gains flash. I'm going to run this at 1. Here's why. Lots of people give this card a bad rap, but I'm playing Khadath, remember. So once per turn, the stack gets +3 damage and no more enhances. Maybe play this enhanced step. Additionally, I have Air-like Key, which says after your opponent plays an attack, I can play the first enhanced step. Okay, so I need you to work through this with me. Work through this in your brain. Let's say someone's running a Coffee Samba deck and they play Coffee Samba on you. There's so many different ways you can play that. So because you're Khadath, you can steal the first enhance, pop an Edenian Royalty. You can even let them do the draw to you or whatever they want to do. And then afterwards, you can use your once per turn to neg out the Coffee Samba. Additionally, now what you've done is, even if they have Coffee Samba in pairs, or if they have anything to try and follow up, you've given that attack flash, right? And you can destroy the Air-like Key instead of getting rid of the Edenian Royalty. You following along, kids? So what that lets you do is it lets you lock out a kill turn that could have just messed up your face otherwise, by just running a 1-of, because this thing can fuel it, and then you can, anytime you find another Air-like Key, you can still fuel that play if you really need to in following turns. That's kind of the benefit of Khadath, is that because if we're running the Air-like Key build, which is what we're going to try to work on, and some weird techie control stuff, then you really have to play with some good game knowledge of how standard flow works and how turn flow works to get your maximum value out of this stuff. So I'll try to explain as much of it as I can as we go along, but that's one play. So Edenian Royalty, the wicked 1-of. Most Trusted Assassin I don't think we need. New Empress of Netherrealm, flip to draw a card at any point of the game, even though it costs 3 vitality. It's just so spicy. We'll start with 2 of that. Unwittingly Evil, I love this card. However, I don't think it's good enough right now. Champion Combat, your attack gets +X equals number of cards in your opponent's card pool. Deadlock E, this card's just nuts. We need at least 2 of it. Even though we don't clog ourselves, we are running Skull Barrier, which can easily block the 3rd attack in a chain and then get the... Oh, it's only your turn. Never mind. Because we can't have nice things. Stupid your turn clause. I guess it's still Deadlock relevant. And if they block 2, you can get +2. You know what? No, we don't need this. We don't need this junk. Get out of here. We're not Liu Kang. What am I doing? Get out of here, Champion in Combat. Fatal Disagreement, on the other hand. Ho, ho, ho. Let me tell you what this card's going to do for us. We're putting 4 of it in. Okay, so Fatal Disagreement, if you don't know, I know has a Canadian 5 check on it. That might scare some of you away. So it says response flip after a card leaves your opponent's card pool during the combat phase. Add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. Playable while committed. Playable while committed. Read that. Playable while committed. So good. Love that card. Anyways, here's what you do. So you've got Fatal Disagreement in play, and you're like, oh, you bought me with something? I'm going to magic in you. You have to play a Foundation next. So then they play a Foundation, you're like, but I'm Khadath, I'm just going to destroy a Foundation, make you destroy or discard it out of your card pool. Oh wait, you just discarded it out of your card pool. Respond flip after a card leaves your opponent's card pool during the combat phase, guess what? Clog more. So they don't get their stuff, and you get to clog them, and you get to be a troll. Being a troll is great. The other thing I like about Khadath is that he's kind of Spiders and Dragons proof. Because if they try to open with the Spiders and Dragons, you just say no, and just pop something and make them eat that junk, because no one wants to deal with that. Dark Emperor, after your opponent plays response on a card in their card pool, cancel its effects. Again, with the destroy cost cards, because we're running the Air-like Key kit, we're going to run at least one of this. There's no reason not to. Right? It's just good. Which brings me to... where is it here? Manipulative and Deceitful. Destroy after your opponent plays an attack. It's -1 speed, -1 damage, and -1/12. Its keywords rating, it's a 1/5. Deadlock E, remove up to 3 non-attack cards from your opponent's discard pile. This is an easy 2-of, because it's a spam, and it's got a juicy destroy effect on it again. But it's got a destroy effect that I'm probably not going to want to play key on, but it's still really good. -1 to keywords is always juicy. Don't ever underestimate that. Unlike a cowboy battery, you just destroy one foundation, block a multiple. That's kind of what that turns into. It's really nice. I don't need Serving Evil. Blood for Blood. That's not really what we're doing. Conquering His Inner Demon. This lets you extend in really weird ways. This might be a one of. It's got the 1/4. Let's put 1 in for now. I can cut it if I don't like it. Debt to be paid is not really what we're going for, although it's flip cost. So here's the thing about flip cost. If you're playing a character that uses Foundation Destruction as fuel, flip cost is nice because it lets you get 2 effects per card in a turn. So I can flip it, I can commit it, or this one's playable committed, but either way you can commit it to pass something, you can flip it for an effect, and you can destroy it for an effect. That's always beneficial. You're using every part of the buffalo. I know I use that phrase a lot, and I realized this week when I was down in the States that most Americans don't know what that means. It just means to use every piece of what you're trying to obtain. So if I'm using this card, I want to use every part of it. I want to take advantage of every piece. I want to use all the juicy numbers on it. I want to use it as best I can, not waste anything. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't waste a card. Entrusted Protector, commit for -2 damage, flip for -2 damage. Nope, I don't want it. We're doing more tomfoolery than that. We don't just need derpy damage reduction for this. Hellspawn Spectre, commit, lose 2 vitality, draw a card. We're going to run 1 of that because it's juicy. And you can flip it for damage on Desperation and Furies, which I have 7 of them. A third. That's respectable. Drawing cards is still good. Strict Mentor, lose vitality, -1 speed, playable while committed. Yeah, we'll run a couple of those. Thirst for Retribution. Yo, this might be juicy. Flip. If your attack is blocked, your opponent loses 3 vitality. So if they block it, they lose 3. Or they can destroy a foundation and cancel it. And it's playable while committed. So I can flip this. They're probably going to eat the 3 on if they block it. Plus we're running a lineup that really wants them to block things, right? Except for the Blaze Whip. We're not talking about Blaze Whip. But Blaze Whip kills foundations if they block it. I like this deck. This deck's looking pretty cute. So if there's a Retribution, I can flip it. So they're already going to be destroying foundations because of us. We're going to be, well, not destroying, but losing foundations, preventing foundation. We're like foundation abortion clinic is what we are. That got dark. All right. So then they might have to sack stuff to deal with Thirst. This might be cute. There's a lot of flip cost things right now, though, so they might just be popping face downs. But let's run with 2 of this for now. Undying Rage we can't really use. Ending the Dream is disgusting. Just pop for +4 damage. Yeah, we're running that at least 3. Yeah, we are. Oh yeah, and it's a destroy cost, which means we can key it. Oh, now it's a 4. Jeez. Generous Gambler is really good. We don't generate face downs very well. Where am I at? I'm at 22 foundations currently with a 42% attack concentration over 49 cards. Okay, we're doing okay. I'm only into the Bebop stuff. I got a lot to go. What do I want? The Red Dragon Assassin, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. That's perfect for a key deck. One of. I'm just kind of reading cards as we go here, trying to speed this up so it's not a 1-hour video again. Destroy, discard a tech weapon from your card pool. I do not run very many of those. Not really useful. Fight what's lost. Nope. Fueling up after your opponent plays a non-character ability that reduces the damage of your attack. Cancel it and they lose 2. I'm only going to run 1 of that. We're not playing aggressively. I don't really need to worry too much about that. But it'd be a nice tech to have, just in case. New Shipmate's really cute. On commit cost, this deck is -2 damage and I gain a vitality. Interesting. Don't know if I want to use it, but interesting. I do have the Balance Fighter kit, so that might be important. We'll just keep going here. After you play this card, seal your opponent's foundations, destroy. We're not running a tech package, so one who wanders does not work. Tank, after your opponent plays an ability on their character, cancels effect. Ugh, that's a better sideboard card than Telekinetic Mastery, let me tell you. Oops. So we're going to run 2 tanks in sideboard. Beep boop. Okay. Balance Fighter. So, do I want to run a Balance Fighter kit in this? That's an 8-card package usually. Do I have other stuff that discards cards in any way? I have some card draw. I do not have anything that's going to let me just discard cards. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, but it's still really good. It's also speed reduction. I don't think I have very much speed reduction right now other than Strict Mentor, which isn't really speed reduction. So we're gonna run, we'll put it in for now. See how it feels. And design for combat, 4 of those, okay. I don't really have the greatest card draw in this, other than like New Empress, and we've got the one, where is it? Hellspawn Spectre, so design for combat's going to let us cycle through and find more stuff. That's good. What am I looking for? My blocks, 13 high, 22 mid, 14 low. We're doing pretty good there, 59 cards. Okay, we're hitting our cusp. I'm at a 35% attack concentration. I'm going to get that a bit lower as we go here. What's my dex stability is 1.59. Difficulty curve is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One difficulty foundations, only 1, 3 difficulty. Everything, nothing's got a 2 check on it. We're running very nice curve right now. Ooh, Expert Swimmer. Okie Dinah, I like this card. Okay, commit flip after your opponent plays an ability on a non-character that would gain vitality, cancel its effects, and gain 2 vitality. So the Spiders and Dragons ability that triggers in staging area does that. There's like Templar, maybe. It's really good for this. I'm curious, I think, does this trigger on Sweet Nothings? That's going to be a thing to check into too. That'd be really nice if Expert Swimmer hit Sweet Nothings. So let's add a pair of those. It's also going to put 2 zeros into our bottom end for building. Impulsive. Destroy. Response. After an attack is played, discard 1 card from your card pool. Wow. That might be helpful. That might be very helpful. Even meta-wise. We're going to run 2 of that. That might actually do some stuff. Focus and Patient, I need one of those. You always need 1 Focus and Patient. R once per turn after you block an attack, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and discard any number of them. That's very good for chain blocking. Right? It makes sure you don't break your check and that you're going to hit those 5s or 6s because we're running 6s in this. Pity for a traitor, seal one of either player's assets. I do not think I have asset hate in any way in this deck. I have lots of foundation structure like control and weird stuff that way, but no real asset hate. So let's run 1 pity. We're not running power struggles. We're not running power split. I don't think I need them. Pull to Magigan. I almost always run 4 this card and 4 reactive style, but I don't want this just to turn into a big old school deck, which it can do very quickly. We're hitting 31% attack concentration, so we're getting really close to our numbers. We're at 67 cards. I might just pick 2 more. I really want them to be reactive style, so I might just keep adding cards and then do some cuts. Robot Masters. Your attack gets plus damage. What? It's not finished being written in Ultra. 4 plus, your attack gets +1 damage and stun 1. If your attack's current damage is 4, which is 1, 2, not enough attacks to care. Okay, no Robot Masters. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just rip through and see if I have any good destroy. So reactive style is a flip to discard momentum. Let's actually take that out. I think I can find something better than that for momentum control. That fits my deck theme better. Such as, ooh, maybe not. But what does Victory Howl do? Victory Howl, discard 1 momentum. Your charge or slime attack gets +2 damage, and if the discarded momentum is a charged slime, you get stun 1 too. No, not good. Demanding submission. This is a hot 1x. Again, destroy cost. After your opponent plays a keyword, cancel its effects. That keyword has a rating. They lose vitality. Again, it plays really well with a key. Build on Khadath, so probably want that. Same thing with securing his destiny. Oh no, this one's a remove cost. Womp womp. Too bad for us. Still really good card though. I'm going to run out one. I actually typically run this card a lot higher right now because after your opponent plays non-keyword, it stops stuff like Sambo, because lots of people just like to put Coffee Sambo in decks and not think twice, because Coffee Sambo will just win you games for free sometimes, but this just says no, which is great. But again, remember we have the Khadath plays where we can just steal the enhanced and then lock down that attack, so that's important to keep track of. We're not running Cage Fighter, we're not running Beautiful Face. Curious if I want to run Mass Assassin. Specifically for the Respond Destroy, after your attack deals less than it's printed, they lose 2 vitality, and you can use that with your keys, but then you're popping a key just to deal 2 damage. I don't know if that's really worth it. Meh. Street Fighter itself, to remove draw 2 cards. I don't think I need this. I don't think so. You can just play around hand rip, not be a moron. Novitiate. We're going to run one of those. Again, it's destroy cost. Helps us get around stuff like Quan Chi and damage reduction and card draw junk, and we can proc keys with it, so that's good. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Keep looking. Up in Smoke. I love this card so much. +1 damage for each card in your card pool and a ranged attack. Do I even have ranged attacks? 1, 3, 6. But the big thing on it is the deadlock response. Commit after your opponent plays an ability on an asset or foundation. Cancel it. I was running Up in Smoke at 1 of in a lot of decks because I was very good at forcing people into deadlock situations, but people seem pretty afraid of deadlock, so I'm just going to leave that. Over the Top, we don't need it. Sense of Adventure, we don't need it. Act of Treason, I'm just not running it. Answers to No One, I can't really run it. Celestial Being, I need at least 2. My goodness, so good. Prevents Stop. Prevents Samba Stun Out. Prevents lots of stuff. Really good card. Oh, and the Hunt for Spiders and Dragons. We're running 4 of that because this card's broken. If you don't know, the Hunt for Spiders and Dragons is broken. You run 4 of it in every deck that can run it, and you don't look back. You don't look back. Carrying on. I'm not too concerned about all this. There we go, Kleptomaniac. That's the card I wanted for... Because Form Destroy, your opponent discards momentum, and if they did, you can add a card from your hand to momentum. You may add 1 card. You don't have to, but it's really good. Again, I can pop keys with it. Yeah, I can also pop a key for the -2 speed on this thing, so that's really cool. We want to run 2 of that. Challenge the Gods. That thing's dumb. Don't run it. Mathematician is cool though. Do I need it? I don't think I need Mathematician. I don't think I'm going to run it. It's really good, but I'm not going to run it. I can abuse it very well. And I don't want to be destroying stuff to turn things face down, not just for one-offs. No, I don't think I want that. What a hard decision. I'm already getting so fatty in the deck. Let's put 1 in. Portal Barrier, I hate that card. It's good, but I hate it. Survivalist, we got to run 1 of those. It's really good. Commit, after your opponent's attack, it's damage. Or speed bonus, return its damage and speed to the printed value. It's really good. Really good. Just got to do like, rip through this where I'm at 38 minutes. It's not too bad. Not too bad. We're on page 4. We're hitting the end of this. We got it. We got there. I didn't run as many of some cards that I wanted. I wanted to run more copies, but you know, you take what you can get sometimes. And seeing as we're playing this kind of wacky little deck here, y'all take what you can get. Okay, here we go. So where am I at now? 55 foundations, 82 cards. My attack percentage is down at 25. Wow, that's bad. Let's look at my blocks. Lots of non-blocks. Look at this. Hellspawn Spectre, Dark Emperor, Balanced Fighter's part of that problem. Pull the Magicans in there. Klepto, Survivalist. So is securing his destiny and demanding submission. So what I might do here is pull these. And we're going to rely a little bit more on Khadath's to cancel enhanced steps. We're going to rely on that a little bit more. Just get rid of the other junk. Keep going through here. I've got fueling up to prevent them reducing. I might also get rid of this fueling up. Get out of here, fueling up. I'm only running at 1, but we'll get rid of it because we're trim and fat. Pity for a trader, steal one of either player's assets. I feel like I'm going to leave that out because I have Bang that can steal cards in staging areas of my sideboard, and that's probably what I'd pull in if I had issues with assets. I don't want to sacrifice main board space in a card that can block and only deals with assets. It's just not quite worth it. Impulsive, I really like this card actually. Destroy foundation after, or destroy this foundation after an attack is played. Discard a card from your card pool. When you mix that with Key, if you're ever playing against Liu Kang, that at least gives you a hope in hell to not get murdered for 1 turn. You can pop some keys and you can pop Impulsive to try and keep that clog down and keep yourself alive. And then you can do some other tricks. Again, you can do the junk with, you can still key them and Denny and royalty them and do some other junk. Right? Right. And Magic and Fatal, you can do the junk. You gotta do the junk to stay alive. Where else are we at here? That only brought me down to 51. We're at 26%, 26.9 at 21 attacks. I can bump this up. Where's my stability? Stability is 1.74. I can sacrifice low blocks. I don't want to sacrifice low blocks. Get out of here. I got 20 low blocks for some reason. Can't get rid of spiders and dragons. Heck no. 1, 2. I've got 3. So I've got 1 Blaze Whip, 2 Skullbreakers. I might push up to 2 Blaze Whips. Let's go like that. Now we're at 22 attacks. Boop. Puts me at 27.8. Now I still need to cut more stuff down. Because I'm at 22 cards to attack with. That's good. I like that. Blaze Whip fits really nicely in my theme. I like all of this jazz. It's all feeling pretty zesty. Hunt, Klepto, Math, Survivalist. It's all really good stuff. Ugh. Oh yeah, Reactive Style we're cutting. That's what we're doing. Get out of here, Reactive Style. What does that put me at? Bloop. 28.5% attack concentration. Ending the Dream. I'm running 4 of this right now. I can probably cut that down to 3. Ooh, and Thirst for Retribution. Ugh, you know what? I'm going to cut Thirst. I like what it does, but I would almost want to build around that theme a little bit more than I did. So we're going to get rid of Thirst. I really like the toolbox that I get from running Key. Even though I might never see a key, but I just like pretending like I will. It's going to be super relevant. Sometimes stealing the first enhance is valuable, especially when you're Khadath. That just lets you deal with an attack right out of the gate. Give it +3 damage and tell it to go away, and then if you can just block it, you're fine. Especially because Bounce Fighter's response to return it to printed, so if it's a multiple copy, or not multiple copy, if it's like, if they manage to put speed on it another way, you can still, without enhanced step, get speed dealt with in some way. It just gives you options. Where does that put me? 28.5%, is that right? 29.3, so we're really close. Let's see if I get another cut in here. Ooh, Conquering his Inner Demon. That 1/4 ready something for extension. We'll get rid of that. I don't need that. Burp, burp. 46, 29.7. Ooh, I need another one. I need another cut. Okay, let's look here. Difficulty. Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 spam. I almost need more spam. What the heck? Oh, what the heck? I got 1 more minute to make a good decision. Ending the Dream gets cut down to 3. That's what we do. I think that nails it on the head. 30.1. So we're at a 30% attack concentration. I like that. I like it. I like it. And if you really want to push it up higher, you can just add a single attack. Maybe let's do that. Because you know what I actually want to put more in? Kickback. Crescendo. I want 3 of it. Because I really like this card. It's not the greatest in Khadath, let's be honest here, but +3 speed, +3 damage off Khadath, you know, 7 speed, 9, that's respectable. Put that Deadlock Enhance, because we don't really run too much else for Deadlock Hate, except for Manipulative and Deceitful, and that's really just Toolbox that we're getting off of it, so that just adds to the threat. I need something to threaten Deadlock. If I'm not threatening Deadlock, then there's nothing stopping my opponent from just running rampant. You gotta have something. Yeah, I think I like this. I think I like the whole layout of this. So we're running Key. Key mixed with Khadath lets us deal with some attacks that we need to deal with. We're going to keep putting our opponent into tough spots. We're going to use Khadath's response once per turn, destroy a foundation, to pop one of our opponent's foundations in their card pool. Got to note that. You're doing that to make sure that they don't run things to counter what you're trying to do. Or you really have to read the game and who your opponent is and make sure that you're selecting your foundations correctly, right? You're either going to select stuff to slow your opponent down so that you can scale out better and kill them with this grindy stuff, or you're going to, if you feel like you're going to be the aggressor, you're going to want to lock out their defensive pieces, right? That's just how you're going to want to be playing this. You have one throw in free fall, so just make sure that you're aware of the fact that you're running one throw. I really like decks that run spicy 1x throws because, and if you see it in your hand, and you may want to consider holding it to close the game out, especially if they don't think you're running throws at all because they're looking in your discard pile and they don't see a single one. Having a single pocket throw, oh man, especially because you can put +3 damage on it, is legit, and you can end the dream on it as well, don't forget that. So you can do some pretty mean things here. You can low zone overload with this, and watch how many cards are in your opponent's hand and read the situation and try to bait things out. And you really have to play smart with this kind of deck. You need to play strong. Although if you're going to build a deck like this and play it repeatedly, it's a very good tool for teaching. I really like this kind of thing because there's lots of, you can't just get the effects that you want right out of the gate. You have to kind of stretch for them, right? Kind of like I was talking about with the Edenian Royalty, or like even using Impulsive. So you notice how I cut out the Scorpion Foundation that readies itself for things, because I'm going to use Impulsive to extend for kills. So if I think I can net myself a kill that turn, I'm going to use Impulsive to try and push that through, either with itself or with the key. I'm going to prefer to do it via key if I can, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? Just to let me clear cards out of my card pool. It's kind of like -1 difficulty on the rest of the stuff I play that turn. And then, of course, designed for combat, balance fighter, cycle stuff. You knew Empress to draw cards. You can always Hellspawn to draw cards. You can just play aggressively, and well, not play aggressively, but play like you're using your vitality, which you don't even have tons of. 26. You only have 2 more than Spike. It's like, jeez, why does he have 24 life? Unsolved mysteries. Anyways, Red Dragon. You do only have 4 keys. Remember that, and you might not even see them, but I still love key. Always wanted to build a key deck, and Mortal Kombat gave us some really cool tools for it, so really like it. Anyways, give this deck a shot. I love it. It's already growing on me. I might want to put this actually together and mess around with it this coming week. It looks really cool. So yeah, until next time, we'll see what Chris comes up with over at Rockford. I'll post the link to this deck in the description, and yeah, you can check it out. So that's my Khadath deck, or Khadath, or however you want to pronounce it. Probably one of my favorite characters out of Vendites. And hey, now at least he's going to get a little bit of love. So yeah, until next time, this was Toy.